coast? Looking for a stylish escape during cruising the coast? Hotel Legends in Biloxi offers spacious suites with kitchenettes, modern tech, and vintage charm. Lounge by the pool, stroll to nearby hot spots, and dine like a star at the Sapphire Supper Club. We're pleased to welcome now Casey Hill, Chief Financial Officer of Merchants and Marine Bank. Casey, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having us, Gerard.
Great
really appreciate
event.
you having us here.
Yeah, man. So this is a big event. I know it provides a great shot in the arm of the economy here of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and in particular here today where we are in Moss Point, Mississippi. I've been here for about an hour and a half now, and the crowds have steadily increased. So a lot of people are coming out to enjoy these vehicles. The sun is starting to peek through the clouds. Great food, just great family entertainment right here in Moss Point.
Absolutely. Moss Point is one of our focus areas at Merchants and Marine Bank. We had a little history with us in this town. We've been here over 100 years. A couple of years ago, we had a tornado come through town and really affect our presence here, in that it demolished our branch location. Thank God nobody was hurt in that tornado, but It's been a process to come back. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had our grand reopening of our new facility. Significant investment in Moss Point. We're excited about what this town has been able to do to come back from that, get through that sort of adversity in a way of that really exemplifies their togetherness and their sense of community here. And we're very happy to be a part of it. Yeah.
Well, it seems like it's a thriving community, as is the entire coast. You know, we just interviewed Casey Vaughn, the mayor of Gautier, and he was touting some capital investment going on over there, and of course the coast has a lot of other projects underway as well. The ocean economy, if you will, is thriving, and folks are figuring out this is a good place to either expand a business or launch a new one.
Absolutely. There have been a lot of investments, as you said, in the blue economy in the last several months and years, both from public and private sector. Really, USM with their Gulf Coast Research Lab at Mississippi State making some big engineering investments down here. That's really kind of spurred that on a little bit, and our legislators certainly have been really good in helping us give that shot in the arm too. The cruising event is one that, in my mind, really starts the so-called festival season down here. Right, when we moved here 5 years ago from Texas. It was really, even during COVID, it really it impacted me that the people down here will celebrate things at the drop of a hat, and they'll be the ones to drop the hat usually, right? So we've got Cruisin over in Ocean Springs. We've got Peter Anderson coming up. In Gautier, of course, they've got the Sound Amphitheater that's always doing great things, and the revitalization of downtown Pascagoula has been something fun to watch over the last several years, and they've got the Zonta Festival coming up as well. So not a lack of things to do down here, even when all of this is not going on.
Tell us what's going on at Merchants and Marine Bank. How you guys doing?
Doing really well. We've had a lot of changes at the bank over the last couple of years. We've got a pretty young management team in place, pretty forward-thinking. In addition to our Merchants and Marine Bank brand that's concentrated heavily in Jackson County and along the and throughout coastal Alabama, we've also got 5 other brands that we've started. Mississippi River Bank that we purchased last year over in southeastern Louisiana. We've got another pretty big announcement that we'll be making here pretty soon. We've got a government-guaranteed lending group that's based out of Atlanta and spread across the southeast. A mortgage company called Canvas Mortgage. A bike office operations company called Core Community Resources, and then we've got our first in the state cannabis banking group and Canna First Financial. So we've been busy, but it's been a fun busy.
Okay. So since President Trump took office, there have been a lot of deregulation-oriented policies that he came in and implemented. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is almost non-existent now. Would you agree?
They've certainly seen a huge reduction in staff. That would be accurate.
But that was a problem for community banks, was it not?
It was, when you paint with a broad brush, regardless of size or mission, an entire industry, it can be problematic.
Yeah.
You've got space in our national economy and our local economies too for everybody. For the largest banks, when you're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar J.P. Morgan Chase, all the way down to the smallest credit unions.
Sure.
But they all serve different purposes and they all serve different missions. And when you treat
and markets for the most part.
Oh, without a doubt. And when you treat a bank like Merchants and Marine the same way that you do J.P. Morgan Chase and have the same expectations, it tends to crowd out those smaller players at the bottom of the market. But those smaller players at the bottom of the market are the ones that are making these huge investments in our local communities that the big guys might overlook.
There's been some talk about possibly lowering capital requirements, right, and allowing you essentially to invest or loan more money. How do you think about that?
Well, our first, we have a dual mandate the way that we see it.
Okay.
First of all is to protect the people that entrust us with their money, right? And capital is a big part of that.
Sure.
We want to make sure that we always maintain a sufficient capital buffer to do that. And we've done that pretty successfully at Merchants Marine Bank. We've got almost double the regulatory capital that we're required to have now. So that's always very important to us. Now, the freedom for individual companies to make that choice, I think, is important. Right, if you want to take a little bit more risk, go out there and loan up, so to speak, and maximize your capital, that's a strategy. It's just not one that we've pursued, so I don't know that the capital requirements will affect us so much. But I will say that I'm at the end of the day a capitalist, and I think that the freedom for each company to make their own choices is important.
Just do it responsibly.
Exactly.
The bottom line, and methodically, and however your management, your board sees fit.
And that is exactly what we're tasked with as managers at a bank is making sure that if we do that, one, we've got a good reason for doing it, and we've got sufficient risk management practices in place to make sure that doesn't affect our customers. Yeah.
I mean, it really is amazing, is it not, Casey, that our banking, our financial system is as stable as it is. It wasn't too long ago when Silicon Valley Bank went down. The fear-mongering was off the charts, and none of that materialized.
It was. It absolutely was. And, that was a much different model. They went way out there on the risk curve as far as – and we could get into the technicals here, but I don't want your listeners
look
to turn
more
off
like
the
a venture
dial.
capitalist than they did an institutional
really
commercial bank.
And they were going out there and making some investments that quite honestly were very ill-timed with the interest rate environment where we were going with inflation.
Yeah.
And that's what really brought them down. You hear a lot about these non-core deposits and uninsured deposits and things like that, and that was certainly a contributing factor to them. But really, it was just a bad investment strategy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you're right. They got out on the risk curve. That's a big way to put it. But overall, the financial industry in this country is quite stable, I think, and quite safe.
Without a doubt, if you look at the worldwide financial industry, there's no better success story in that industry than the American banking industry, right?
Absolutely.
And the economy that we enjoy is due to several factors: stable laws, entrepreneurs being willing to get out there and do what they do and take a risk, and the banking industry being able to give them that capital to do so.
Yeah.
And our philosophy to help them along and doing it and counseling them along the way.
Yeah. Are you seeing a decline in demand with a somewhat higher interest rate environment than we had a short couple of years ago?
We see, I think the bigger trend that we're seeing is people calling us and asking us when interest rates are going down, and the short answer to that is, we don't know.
We don't know.
If we could predict interest rates, I'd be working for myself right now and not somebody else. But, we've been pretty steady. Our loan demand has been pretty steady. We've not had any issues with that, and I think it's important to remember too that we're still a little bit under the average interest rate over the last 50 or 60
That's
years.
right.
So this is as much as I don't like it because I purchased a house after interest rates went up.
Yeah.
We are in a very normal interest rate environment, and
we got accustomed to it, man.
We did. Cheap money was like a drug for a long time. And it formed some addiction psychology there, I believe.
Well, I think it's also fair to say, though, that inflation has driven up the cost of a lot of those assets we purchased. So you got that side of the payment and the debt equation as well. So.
And unfortunately, that tends to cause that vicious cycle, right? You have inflation go up, things get more expensive. One of the only tools that we have in a free market economy to bring it down is higher interest rates.
That's right. Casey Hill, Chief Financial Officer, Merchants and Marine Bank, has been our guest. Appreciate it, Casey. Enjoyed talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
We're stepping aside for a break. We're coming right back. Final segment of Hour 2. After the break at the top of the hour, it's Senator Jeremy England. Stay with us. We're in Moss Point, Mississippi. It's Cruisin' the Coast.